was the first and last time Tiffany Henyard talked to me. Since then, she's called our reporting fake news. We asked her $5,000 a month publicity agency for a response from Henyard, explaining why, if residents' concerns about corruption are unfounded, the FBI has issued subpoenas, naming her, her boyfriend, her relatives, her allies, her political fund, her namesake cancer charity, and even her now defunct burger business.
Shout out to WGN and Ben Bradley, who stand on Big Tiff's ass. What I just played was the end of the broadcast so that everyone could hear who was named so far, including KAMAL, including Lacey. Of course, we already knew Keith. We already knew Tiff. Then they talking about the relatives, which the other day for that video where we were able to look at the salaries, we see how much they were making. We saw a couple of Henyard's names on there. They can all go down. I hope Big Tiff has plans for justice. Now, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the broadcast from the beginning and see exactly what's going on, because every day, another Tiffany Henyard story.
WGN Investigates has learned a grand jury will hear testimony on Monday as part of an ongoing investigation into Tiffany Henyard's leadership in the South Suburbs.
And we're going to be right here on Monday discussing it. So y'all might as well make plans to be here nowhere else and be ready to talk about whatever the heck happens that day.
She's the mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township. Investigative reporter Ben Bradley has been detailing her questionable spending for many months, and he has an update.
It's rare for us to be able to give you a front row seat into an active FBI investigation, but recently obtained subpoenas show that's exactly what we've been doing. Those subpoenas reveal agents are investigating many of the same concerns over corruption and cronyism that we've been detailing in our reporting. This is what passes for public debate in Dalton. It's the result of months of frustration over Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership.
This administration is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
We're watching the fall of this administration. Yeah,
WGN Investigates has obtained or reviewed subpoenas the FBI served to Thornton Township and Dalton. They serve as a roadmap to the ongoing federal investigation. They seek payment and expense records for Tiffany Henyard, as well as her boyfriend, who runs a violence prevention program for the township. Also named, Henyard's top aide, Dalton's acting police chief, along with 4 village and township trustees, and 2 of Henyard's relatives who are on the government payroll.
You would think that someone would have some sort of shame, would dial it back a little bit, would have second thoughts about something. She must not have a bright lawyer, or she just don't listen. It has to be one or the other, because she has been doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on up the daggone chain with her antics, the things that she says, how she treats people, how she acts, and everything that she does with no regard of anything. I'm telling you, this is absolute and complete narcissism. And this is a person who doesn't think that they're in trouble. I know a lot of people sit up here and say that she's running scared and she's looking this way, she's looking that way. The way that she's portraying herself, it's a she don't give a F. And I beg all those people in Dalton to see this as they're watching this play out right in front of their eyes while they're sitting up there supporting this mess. Y'all gonna be on the hook for this.
They'll turn up more and more information. They'll turn up more leads. They may turn up more witnesses. They may find a cooperator. They may find an informant, all which will benefit the investigation tremendously.
But based on what we know now, if you're Tiffany Henyard, how are you feeling?
I would be nervous.
But there's no foundation in the state of Illinois moving like we moving and shaking, grooving like we doing right things.
The FBI also demanding records from the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation after we reported at least $10,000 in taxpayer money went to it. And the group used government workers and resources for the charity's walk to Springfield. After we reported earlier this year the charity had failed to file required financial records, Henyard claimed she had nothing to do with her namesake organization.
All I can tell you is that I'm not the one on anything. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. So I'm just trying to answer to the...
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so
true.
You're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
You can't just sit around and say, do your research and everything is fake news, Big Tiff. You have talked too daggone much, and that is a lot of the reason why you're going down as well. Everything has been recorded, and trust me, the FBI has it all.
The FBI also demanding records related to Henyard's travel. WGN Investigates has reported she and her team frequently travel first class and have stayed at high-end hotels. The cost in the past year, more than $102,000. The FBI wants the receipts and to know the purpose.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
And then there's Henyard's top aide in both the village and township, Keith Freeman. He's been charged with bankruptcy fraud for failing to report his earnings from Dalton, but he remains at Henyard's side. We've learned the FBI served a subpoena on Robbins, where Freeman was previously the village administrator. An audit found he received more money than was budgeted.
We already know about Keith, and he's been indicted for the bankruptcy fraud. I'm not really sure about the Robbins. I think they said Robbins Village or something like that. But here's the thing. If he had a subpoena here and he's been indicted over here and the subpoena in Dalton, who thinks that Keith has already talked? These people all allegedly are intertwined so much that if one person calls out anything, the whole thing comes down. So who thinks that Keith has cut a deal? Because I'm sorry, I don't believe that he's willing to go all the way down over some Tiffany daggone Henyard. I could be wrong, but I just don't think so.
Clearly, they've targeted several individuals in both the village and the township, and that should be a red flag.
The dysfunction in Dalton also comes with a legal cost to taxpayers. Henyard's attorney recently notified the board he was withdrawing from defending the village in 21 cases because Henyard's opponents have refused to pay his bills. The lawyer warning, without a defense, Dalton taxpayers could be on the hook for more than $20 million. And the cases keep piling up. This month, a Dalton police officer filed suit against Henyard in Dalton, saying he was passed over for promotion. In the lawsuit, the officer alleged it happened after he reported a fellow officer was writing unwarranted tickets to boost revenue for the village.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Out there just giving out parking tickets. Remember that time that they got fined for $500 for some sort of a ticket? Child, there's so much I can't even remember it all. And they were all rushing to pay that $500 because it was about to accumulate to double and triple. Like just sitting here blatantly fleecing village, the people, the citizens, blatantly knowing that she's been looked at. This woman has been looked at for over a year and a half. It's just finally culminating to what we're about to see very, very soon.
It's Mayor Henyard completely disregarding the law and disregarding the promotional process in the police department.
Attorney Pat Walsh represents the officer and 3 other current and former employees who are suing Henyard and the village. All 4 lawsuits essentially accuse Henyard of misusing her political power.
Mayor Henyard is on an island of lawlessness and is just doing whatever she thinks will benefit her personally and politically, rather than following the laws and doing what would benefit the village of Dalton and the residents of the village of Dalton.
If you want to help the residents, then help them. Why aren't y'all paying for concrete?
What's more remarkable, Henyard's opponents were her running mates just a few years ago.
When you ran on my ticket, y'all ran on my vision. The vision wasn't to rob the city. The vision wasn't for the FBI. The vision wasn't for you to steal all the money.
Late last year, I asked the self-proclaimed super mayor whether she might be the problem. You often point out you are the leader of Dalton. At what point is this dysfunction a reflection on your leadership?
When I replace my board.
Isn't part of being a leader learning how to work with others? I mean, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yes, but when other people are the puppet masters and they're the puppets, this is the show you get. But as you can see, progress is still being made in the village of Dalton. All right.
She's just over here talking to be talking. I don't understand how people who are in that town, who see and hear all this, can sit up here and still support this person. Now, I understand that people always are going to have supporters. Well, enough of the people who support her must either be getting some sort of a kickback, allegedly, they're related to her, allegedly, or they're the senior citizens who don't know no better. So as long as she comes and she smiles in their face and rubs on their arm, they're happy. And the young people just see all the flashiness, the spider's makeup and the weave, and that's good enough for them. Once you start looking into it, and I don't even live in Dalton, and just from what I've looked into, what we've looked into, what we've seen, it's clear and obvious that there are some issues. And the fact that this woman will not accept accountability for anything, has anyone heard this woman accept accountability for one GD thing? The leader is the one that's responsible. That's why everybody blaming Joe Biden for everything. She responsible and she get all this. And she don't accept no responsibility. I guess that's just the way of the world. You just sit up here and say it's not your fault, it's everybody else's fault, and just say that you're doing good and good is being done just because you say it. We need to stop having these people be in elected positions for sure, for sure. Hopefully this is getting taken care of sooner rather than later. But y'all let me know what you think as always. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I see you all on the next one.
Because y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of y'allself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power.
We do not care.